Welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason, and today I've got another special little side project going. Yes, it's another Hot Wheels Mazda NA MX-5, but this is a different casting to the one featured in my Auto Alex fill build. Actually though, this project is closely related to that. You see, I'm recreating a car that featured on Auto Alex's channel, that of Matt Pollard. This is his and his dad's co-owned MX-5 that was fixed up and featured on the channel. Not only that, but a car show called Mattwood was organised in benefit of Matt, who was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer at the age of 19. The car community rallied in aid of his family, with the result a superb car meet and a transformation of his MX-5 into one of the UK's best examples. After teasing my fill build on Instagram, I spotted Matt had begun following me. Recognising his name, I immediately offered to build him a replica of his and his dad's car. While the car itself is the same model, there are a number of differences between Alex and Matt's MX-5s. First, Matt's has no roll cage, extended wheel arches, and has active side lights, among other things. That's why I chose to use this Hot Wheels model as a base for this build. This is a little more stock looking that can be gently modified to reflect his car. It's a much older model too, first being available in 1991 with a chunky metal base. Its headlights also form part of the windscreen plastic, which is a nice touch. So let's lose this horrible paint job and get to work. This Hot Wheels model was in production for a long time, lasting from 1991 until 2003. With its old white and black livery, this particular casting was from the 1999 main line. The car it is based on, the MX-5 Miata or Unos Roadster as it was sold as in Japan, was introduced in 1989. Taking the British post-war sports car recipe, it revitalised the market with its timeless design and driving purity. It was lightweight, had near perfect balance, and teaming it to a front-engined rear-wheel drive layout spelt a thrilling experience behind the wheel for drivers. Inside, it was pretty minimalist, focusing instead on ergonomics and driver engagement. During production, which spanned 1989 to 1997, 431,506 MX-5s were built. Since then, it has become a real classic hit that is cherished by enthusiasts for its driving dynamics and timeless design, including those pop-up headlights. Matt and his dad's MX-5 is a 1992 model, which means it is powered by the 1.6 litre B6ZE 4-cylinder engine. The larger 1.8 litre BP units were introduced for 1994. Now let's get to business and start properly customising this model. I'm cutting away the plain plastic disc wheel in favour of a 3D printed one more reflective of the Momo fitted to Matt's car. After drilling a hole for it and smoothing it off, my replacement is glued in. The interior is further enhanced with the Tillit carbon fibre bucket seats fitted by Alex and Taylor. I've got this pair of Creative 164 seats that fit perfectly over the original mouldings and look very close to how the real seats do. Next, as this model MX-5 has had a life of being played with, it's got some light scratches to the windshield. I buff these out by using my trusty Polywatch scratch remover and then dunk it in wood floor polish to make it pop like new. Another difference between Alex and Matt's MX-5s is the paint colour. Alex's had been sprayed in Mazda Soul Red, while Matt's is in Classic Red, which I'm recreating using Tamiya's TS8 Italian Red. The way which this model is put together means I need to spray the base portion red too, as it includes the bumpers and sills. I then move on to detailing the window plastic, with the wipers filled in black first. Then I made a bit of a boob and drew in a red surround for the windscreen, where Matt's is actually black. I quickly realised my error though, covering over it with my black paint pen. For the quarter lights, I've printed out some decals that replicate the ones that are stuck there on Matt's car. These companies are those who donated parts to the build. You'll see those being applied shortly though, as now I primer the interior piece. The primer makes for a great indicator for any areas that need attention, like any gouges or lumps that may have been missed in the preparation phases. Now though, the body parts receive their first level of trim detailing. This includes all exterior lighting such as the side repeaters, reflectors, markers and rear light clusters, as well as the chrome door handles. The front grille is filled in black. I never miss out on detailing a base when it has as many cast features included as this. There's a decent cast in tailpipe as well, which I'm sure to paint chrome onto. Next up is the interior piece again. This is back in the spray booth for some black over the primer. The high coat black is a little thin and takes a few coats to build up a thick glossy finish. Moving on, and I'm now using Sharpie coloured pens to add the second level of lighting detail. Orange is used on the turn signals and markers, while I use red for the remainder of the taillights. I've always found this method produces the best and most realistic lighting finish for me when teamed with Citadel Gloss Nuln Oil, which I'll be doing momentarily. Before that, I quickly add in the reversing lights. And here we go with the Nuln Oil application. I tend to lay it on thick at first, then reduce it with a dry brush. Some larger areas need building up though, like this rear light cluster. We're moving towards decal application now, as I affix the front registration plate to a piece of styrene sheet. Then the rear rectangular plate goes straight onto the area cast especially for it. Also on the back, I'm adding the Roadster badge, as well as the tiny Auto Alex and Saunders detailing stickers. On the sills goes the logo made specially for the Mattwood show. The fronts and backs of the bucket seats receive Tillet logos. These were incredibly small and fiddly. You might have seen I cocked up again, putting the Mattwood stickers behind the door instead of in front of them, so they've moved. Lastly, the window side decals are applied, with a central Tillet sticker the finishing touch. Once all of those are in place, I coat the lot with Mr. Mark Softer solution to help set the decals. One other fiddly little decal fitted to the lower right of the windscreen was another Saunders detailing sticker. The black triangles I fitted to the quarter lights included 5 different logos of people or companies who donated to the build in different ways. Top was TaylorMade Cars, with Taylor putting in a whole heap of effort to put the car together. Then there was EBC Brakes, Tillet again, BC Racing who supplied the coilover suspension, and lastly MX-5 specialist Boffy Racing. Clear coat application means we are quickly approaching the final stages of this build. I use my yellow Artistro paint pen to crudely draw in the Momo logo on the steering wheel, red for the hazard warning light button, and Molotow chrome for the stereo. And finally, the wheels. I've got this set of Diecast Details 10 spokes to match Matt's Boffy Racing donated Team Dynamics wheels. I spray these in my recently acquired Peugeot Iron Grey paint to match their shade. I'm so pleased with how they turned out. So let's get all these parts together and ship it off to Matt. In first is the polished windscreen and headlight plastic, which is easily fitted, with the interior piece sitting behind it. Then it's just a case of aligning the base with those 2 tapped rivet posts, push fitting them together loosely and securing it with 2 3mm M2 screws. But we're still missing one thing. The front registration plate, which is glued in place. So here's a reminder how this Hot Wheels Mazda MX-5 Miata looked before I turned it into a replica of Matt and his dad Andy's MX-5. It made for a good basis for a custom on Matt's car, since it's a less leery earlier Hot Wheels model without all of the wings and arches cast in. It lent itself to some good detailing on the rear, but in all honesty, on reflection, it didn't feel like there was too much for me to do to get it looking how I wanted it. And this is how I wanted it. I just hope Matt wanted it to look like this. He hasn't seen any progress shots at all, so the first time he sees it will either be in the post or on this video. I've tried to reflect his and his dad's car as best I could using photos and video footage. Gone is that nasty paint job, replaced by a classic Mazda red. I think the gunmetal wheels look really nice on this casting and are a decent match to the real Team Dynamics set that Matt's MX-5 wears. Most time was spent designing and applying the decals, and again they help to give the model a unique identity. The Mattwood sticker contrasting the red is my favourite part, but what's yours? Let me know in the comments and be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and follow me on Instagram to stay up to date with all my latest releases. And if you can, help support the channel on Patreon or YouTube memberships. But all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.